Yo, what up YouTube? Kyle here for Boss TCG, your home for competitive TCG news and content, and you are on the Boss TCG Bandai channel where we talk about Battle Spirits, Dragon Ball Super, One Piece, and Digimon. If you guys would like Bandai content and want to see more content on Bandai, hit that subscribe button. And if you guys like this video, hit that like button. And if you guys just want to join in the conversation, go down in the comment section below and get into that conversation. And with that said, today's video is partially sponsored by Sunshine Games in Tampa, Florida. Tampa's premium hobby store. If you play it, they have it. They have everything from Pokemon to Battle Spirits Saga, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and even Shadowverse Evolved and the greatly anticipated Lorcana. If you're in the Tampa area, swing into their Tampa location on Telecom Drive. And if you're looking for a local event, head on over there as well. Now, if you can't go to their location, just go straight to their website or even their TCG player store. Links to both of those will be in the description below. Also, the address to the store. Thank you, Sunshine Games, for being a part of this video. Now, let's get into it.
The Eve of Empire, an Imperial Chronicle, Episode 1. Forward. The birth of an empire unifying the entire world for the first time in history is also the story of two heroes, Kai, the first emperor, and Menaka, the Godslayer hero. The history of the founding of the empire is chronicled in the supplemental Imperial Chronicle, The Eve of Empire. Follow along as we unravel the paths taken by these two heroes. Year 99, pre-Empire, the founding of Blaze Aegis. The nation of Blaze Aegis rose to power within that what would later become the Realm of Fire, eventually exerting control upon a majority of its lands. Moves toward unification took hold among the other realms as various smaller nations established their authority in reaction to the new threat. As power struggles within the individual realms subsided, ambitions continued to swell. Newly established leaders quickly shifted focus towards their neighbors in other dominions, plunging the world into an era of frequent, large-scale conflicts among the realms. During that violent century following the birth of Blaze Aegis and leading up to unification, each of those 6 new nations established among the 6 realms adopted a coat of arms in the form of a shield as their emblem, along with the names Blaze Aegis, Dark Aegis, Light Aegis, Ice Aegis, Wind Aegis, and Ocean Aegis. One school of thought aptly called this the 6 Aegis era, but within this record, we will adopt the more orthodox historical perspective of referring to it as the Warring Nations era. Year 14, pre-Empire, Blaze Aegis and Dark Aegis ally. Excerpt from the autobiography of Imperator Kai. As I recall, I was 9 when Blaze Aegis dispatched me to the nation of Dark Aegis as ambassador. Looking back on that period, it is easy to understand how general apprehension and resistance towards my young age could have led to the reactions I received. However, in what many would call a stereotypically audacious show of youthful impertinence, I kept my head held high and faced their criticisms with aplomb. In the year 14 pre-Empire, as the Warring Nations era came to a close, a military alliance between Blaze Aegis and Dark Aegis was established. A pledge of both mutual non-aggression and military cooperation against outside threats, this alliance initially came as a shock to the remaining 4 realms. Feelings of relief soon followed, however, when it became clear that the nature of this alliance was to focus primarily on defense. Rebellion had broken out among the pterosaurs in the nation of Blaze Aegis, demanding the attention of its leaders and tying up resources for waging war outside their borders. This rebellion encouraged Blaze Aegis to actively pursue an alliance. While historically significant, the Blaze Aegis-Dark Aegis alliance itself takes backstage to the annals of history to the first appearance of Kai, who would eventually become founding emperor. In the wake of distinguished efforts subjugating the pterosaurs, Kai was chosen to represent Blaze Aegis in their first alliance and immediately dispatched to Dark Aegis. The young ambassador had just turned 9 at the time, and a prestigious family background did little to counter the apparent audacity of the appointment. However, Kai would successfully carry out the weighty mission and eventually prove the skeptics wrong. Negotiation, information gathering, secrecy, and keen grasp of your allies' populace are the cornerstones to making a good alliance ambassador, and within 3 months after arriving, Everyone came to recognize Kai's talent in these areas. Well known for fairness and partiality, it seems Kai was more trusted by the local denizens than their own government officials were. 3 years later, when the ambassadorship term ended, historical records describe a mountain of signed petitions being collected, all calling for Kai's reinstatement. Year 9 pre-Empire, the Pterosaur Engagements. Recollections from Tokiwa in the life of Manaka. Manaka could be seen engaging the enemy's supreme commander in a single combat on the distant horizon. Already showing more potential than my own master, Lord Dragon, he came away with a splendid victory. Such deeds were sure to prove him a worthy servant. Those 5 years of world peace enjoyed by all following the Blaze Aegis Dark Aegis alliance were abruptly shattered when the military forces of Ice Aegis invaded Blaze Aegis. They were eventually driven back in failure by Blaze Aegis' victory at that decisive battle which took place in the Valley of Pterosaurs. It was during this engagement that the hero Manaka first showed his potential. Seen merely as a chamberlain to the General Lord Dragon at the time, Manaka was in truth a genius who had studied under the general since early childhood. Lord Dragon's 3 closest retainers all anticipated that he would one day surpass his master. The final stage of the engagement came when Manaka and Lord Dragon split up to attack the enemy's main forces in a pincer maneuver. Critical to their success was the moment when Manaka reached enemy headquarters first and proceeded to assault it without waiting for reinforcements. After beating a path through their camp, he bested their supreme commander in a heroic one-on-one battle. Manaka's action delivered Blaze Aegis to victory, as the leaderless Ice Aegis forces immediately began to collapse. Recognition for his deeds eluded Manaka at the time, however, it was awarded to his commanding officer, Lord Dragon, instead, leaving Manaka in relative anonymity. Only those who were there to witness his heroic deeds on the battlefield would recognize him as Lord Dragon's strongest warrior and grow to admire him for it. The fact that Kai also took part in the engagement as one of their generals is often overlooked, and no record remains of Kai encountering Manaka in battle. It was not until 2 years later, during the Battle of Sekigaya, when these two heroes would truly be tied together by fate.